Hey, y'all, hey! Welcome to the PowerWomen podcast. This is the show where powerful women share their journeys, discuss how to solve powerful issues, and the power men who help us rise. I'm your host, Power Mom, Claire Brown. So how have you been able to rebuild? What strengths have you been able to utilize? What has that looked like for you both?
Mm-hmm. For me, my family. So I met my husband and I'll go back to this. My dad was diagnosed with ALS in 2009, and I was living in Newport Beach, California at the time. And my mom said, "Hey, I'm going to need you to come home as he progresses. Where he's not there yet, but as he progresses, come home." And I was like, "To Little Rock? Oh my gosh, I really don't want to come home to Little Rock. I'm Newport Beach. Hello, Arkansas."
Oh, come on, Laura.
Okay. All right. So the beach every day and 80-degree weather, but okay. So 2012, I moved back to Arkansas, and I really didn't stay in contact with anybody at home other than my family, my parents, my brother. I have one brother. And my plan was, I'm going to stay in Arkansas until Daddy dies, because ALS is fatal. Usually people have 2 to 5 years to live. So I'm going to stay here, help Mom out. So I got my own place and in Little Rock, and started helping my dad and everything, and my mom. And 2012, I met my husband. Well, it wasn't my husband, but I met Brian, Dr. McGee. I met him at a local restaurant at a brunch. He didn't like the brunch. He said Waffle House is better. We won't say the restaurant's name. Okay. I like the place. It's good to me. But anyway, so I met him. It's matter of fact, we should go there this Sunday. I met him at a restaurant, and at the time, he was having brunch with my neighbor. So I went to the table to speak to my neighbor, which is white Brian. His name was Brian too. And he was sitting with black Brian. So I know this story is funny. So I'm like, "Hey, Brian, what's up?" And so I really didn't talk to black Brian. I was talking to white Brian, because I didn't know you like this restaurant. And he's like, "Yeah, I've been trying to come here." And so afterwards, I was just introduced to him. No big deal. It was just, "Hey, nice to meet you." I just came from church. So afterwards, black Brian was saying to white Brian, "Oh my gosh, why haven't you told me about her? That's your neighbor? You never said anything." Like, he was making a big deal about it. So a couple months later, I'm building my nonprofit, ALS in Wonderland, and I need a board. And again, I don't know people here. Right. I just, my parents. I haven't, I didn't know anybody in the community. I wanted professionals. I wanted doctors. And so I asked Brian, white Brian, and Brian was in the medical field. He's not a doctor. He sold medical equipment. I said, "Can you do it?" And he was like, "I really don't want to do that." So he's kind of busy. He said, "But my friend, Dr. McGee would like to do it." So that was how we hooked up.
Okay.
And that was 2012. And to this day, he's been a great board member, because he donates a lot of money. So thank you, Dr. McGee. But that is how we hooked up. And he has been amazing. And then my father was able to go to our wedding in 2014, and my dad passed in 2015, and my dad just loved him. He's such a great guy. He comes from such a wonderful family. He's close to his mama. Very smart family. There's 3 doctors in the family.
Yes, I've met them all.
Yes. I don't know what happened to the 4th one. Sorry, Ben. Okay. He's in IT, but we all need IT. But no, they're great. So that family and my family are, meshed together now, and they're all so supportive. I mean, with everything that we do, with our work, with our family, even with me going public, with Epstein, my mother-in-law and father-in-law, they just keep saying how proud I am. Proud.
Yeah.
And I know, and I don't take that for granted, because everybody doesn't have that.
Right.
Everybody doesn't have. And I know when we were in DC recently, I remember I called Mama Rose on the phone on FaceTime. Okay. and she just gave them so much love and birds of aspiration. And That's Mama Rose
I
right
love
there.
that.
And we all need a Mama Rose.
Yeah.
Yes. So that's my support. And that's how we get through it.
Yeah.
And my kids. And even though the triplets don't understand what's going on right now, my 16-year-old daughter, we've had conversations.
Yeah.
They're going to look back later on in their lives and see the work that we've done and everything that we've been through. And it's going to make a huge difference on their life and the future generations.
Right. So I know we've touched on advocacy here and there throughout the conversation. And also, y'all have done massive, you've moved mountains for things. And you've gotten an act of Congress through. You've gotten, let's just say, part of the files released.
Part of the files. But part of those files is not all the files.
No.
We said everything.
That's right.
We need everything.
So did
right?
that act of Congress.
Right, Sharlene? Everything. You don't want half the sandwich. You want the whole sandwich.
Yeah, we want everything. Todd Blanche needs to really do his job. Todd, do your job. We often joke.
And I think it's really important to explain from your perspective, why is it so important for all of it to come out?
Well, from my perspective, it's important for everything to come out so that we can see the patterns. Like, trafficking is something that is a pattern and it's structured. And so when we can piece all these things together, we can help make the world a better place. So like we can strengthen laws, make it so that financial institutions, there's red flags for them. And so everything works together. So once you can see everything, once there's transparency, then there can maybe be some accountability, and then maybe justice will be served. And I always say maybe because honestly, it doesn't feel like things are happening in America. It feels like other countries are doing so much more than what America's actually doing. Like the UK, even though we did end up, I guess the prince was convicted with Virginia, kind of, not really. I mean, there was a settlement that was involved with that, and he still rides a horse and he still lives his life. I mean, I feel like the accountability and justice has not been served in that case or in others, but at least they're a little bit farther ahead than what America is. So in order to make America safe, you need full transparency.
And I agree with everything that you said, Sharlene. I think that it's important to follow the money too.
Yeah.
Because there's, as I was saying, he was so connected with different organizations and institutions and companies and banks. And that is where you're going to find a lot of the people that we were trafficked to.
Sure.
There's, of course, like I was saying, the videos and pictures, those have not been released,
Right.
and yes, we want them released and us redacted in them, but where are those?
Right.
Because he recorded everything.
Everything.
And those, I don't want people to forget about that. Those have not been released.
Right.
And he recorded sexual activities of when the people that he had come into his house that he was blackmailing other powerful men. Where are those videos?
Right.
And someone has them, whether the estate has them or the DOJ has them, those need to be released.
Right. Because when those are released, that will take away these conversations of, well, I'm curious what your narrative is. I want to know what your story is. Because then it will just be the truth.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because the last thing that a survivor needs to hear is, what is your narrative? Because it's not your narrative.
No,
it's not. Does that make sense? Do you hear that? There's a big difference. And there's a lot of validation in that. And I know for myself, coming from that scenario, that's also something that keeps a woman from speaking out.
Yeah, we're not a headline
No.
at all. And I just think that the truth, it's literally, this is really simple. It's about what's right and wrong.
Yeah, and it's really hard to be
is.
held accountable as an adult when you're acting like a child.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
Yes.
It's fascinating to me.
Fascinating.
Yeah.
Yep, and it's important
It's just
for
fascinating.
everybody to know that they're not alone, and this is a human issue. We're all human. This is not political. This is we are people that were traumatized, and anybody who's been traumatized or abused in any way deserves respect. And they deserve the transparency and accountability and justice from whomever did whatever to them as well. And the country just needs to step up and start making some bold choices and, put justice where justice should be.
Right. Well, the fact of it is that you are not just your own mother and father's daughter, but you're someone else's too.
Mm-hmm.
And you're just one of the 80% in our country.
Mm-hmm.
And so if people will look around at 8 out of 10, who all do you know? And then would you not want justice for them?
Yeah.
So why not justice for you?
Yeah.
And so
It's true. Justice comes in many forms too for everybody, and it doesn't matter whether you've been abused by Jeffrey Epstein or you've been in a domestic violence situation or whatever. I mean, everybody needs dignity, safety, and healing. And in order to begin the path of healing, you have to have some accountability. And that speaks for the whole nation, the whole world.
because this sets a standard for all others. Yeah.
Well, we are not.
And what standard are we holding?
Exactly.
Exactly. I'll say this: we are not going. I know there's a lot of people that are still trying to silence us. Me and my survivor sisters. We are not going away. We're going to continue to use our voice. And if you are a perpetrator, if you are an abuser, we're coming for you. You're going to be held accountable, and we're going to make sure of it. And that's important. And so there may be people that are still afraid to speak. Well, we're going to speak for them.
So I also want to ask where, if someone knows of someone that has been trafficked, has been assaulted, one, what do they look for? Two, where do they go to find resources? Where do they report that? What's the next step? What do they do?
So I think it's different. I mean, obviously there's a national hotline that people can call, but obviously every state has different nonprofit organizations depending on what state you live in. So there's those outlets. And a lot of police department have like Law and Order, what's it called, the SVU.
Yes,
so
yes.
So a lot of the bigger cities do. Start with reporting it. Make a report.
Who do you report to first?
So I would go directly to make the police report. Even if nothing happens right away, make the police report. Go to the police. I would go in person or have them come to your home, but probably go in person if you feel safer, depending on your situation. But make the police report. Get that on paper. Get the date, who you spoke to, take their card, and then ask them for. Most states have some sort of maybe a victims assistant fund for mental health. Ask about that. Ask for any resources that you can get. And that's the first step that you can do.
Charlene?
There's help.
The first step is also just to tell anyone, don't keep it to yourself, and then if you don't know where to go in your area, then somebody else can help you, because after you've been abused, sometimes your mind is not in the right place. So even just telling a friend, it's really scary to just go to the police and things, but maybe they can come with you. Maybe you could tell them over the phone. You can, another thing that is really important is after you do report to the police or to the authorities in your area, it's important to find a lawyer that understands and can work with you properly, that is trauma informed. And one of the things that's really important these days is a lot of the police are not trauma informed. And so when you do go, just remember that they might be speaking to you from a place that they don't understand. And so maybe you could say, well, can I please speak to somebody who's trauma informed? And then can I please have a trauma informed lawyer?
Yeah. All very good advice. What do we need to know that we haven't talked about? What do you want to share that we haven't discussed?
I think that survivors are not statistics. We're not just a statistic. We're human beings, and we're human beings with futures. And there's been so many times in my life where I felt so down, like I didn't have a future. I felt like, what am I doing? What am I going to do? And it's easy to get down in that place. And if you are in that place, there are resources that you can reach out to help get you out of that place. And I think that that's so important, because healing is possible, and truth matters. You matter. If you are in that place that is so dark that I can completely relate to on so many levels, just try your best to take one step at a time, one day at a time, and know that you matter. You're everything to somebody, whether it be your mom, your daughter, your brother. Somebody cares. We care about you. And we, as Epstein survivors, we're working to change laws for you. You know, we are putting our stories out here on the line. We're speaking to you and through this podcast because we actually care. We're not here for any kind of notoriety. And we are not here to just call you a statistic. We are here because we actually do care, and we want to help.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, Sharlene. Amen. So this is, as we said before, this is a human issue. We're humans. And a lot of people are trying to make this political. The current administration has not done what they needed to do. So many people are like, oh, it's political. It's not. It's a human rights issue.
Yeah.
It's a human rights issue. And it's beyond time to do the right thing.
Right.
And to make things right. And what I really want to see is, I want to see investigations.
Mm-hmm.
When we see other countries doing investigations, and here in America, no one is investigated that's in the files. Just because your name's in the files doesn't mean that you're guilty. But let's investigate. Let's investigate what happened during this time frame. Mm-hmm. Follow the money. That's not being done. That's what we're asking for.
Right. Mm-hmm. Because to your point, trafficking hasn't been brought to the forefront, and nothing's been done about it.
No.
Until this.
Mm-hmm.
Because over 400,000 people are trafficked in the U.S. every year.
Mm.
and it's
in the U.S.
In the U.S.
Wow.
And it's not being done. Nothing's being done about it. And now that you all have come forward and brought it to light, because of a lot of power and money, there's a light shed on that.
Yeah.
And just think about all of those people that are in poverty and they're in desperation, that they're preying on, that are being trafficked, and that don't feel their voice.
Yes.
And you're being that voice for them.
Yeah, Claire.
Thank you all so much.
Thank you.
Thank you for your time. Thank you for your courage. And thank you for helping so many others. And I can't appreciate you enough.
Thank you, Sharlene.
Thank you. Thank you, Lara. Thank you.
Love you.
Yeah.
Both of you. Love you both.
Have a great week, ladies. Continue the work.
Thank you so much for listening. If you like the show, please rate and review on iTunes. And check out our website, thepowerwomen.org.